So what caught my eye here is the word Feta right here. There is another word that we like to use, cousin. There's cousine, which could be also written, I guess, cousine. Notice these two words are French, so the American cousin also is a loan word from French. And in Germany, we use cousin and cousine. To my knowledge, I don't know anyone who uses the word Feta. So I tried to look it up. This one here is Wikipedia. Cousins and Cousinen, that's the plural, sind die Kinder von Onkel und Tanten. So they're the children of uncles and aunts. So Cousin, Cousine, auf Deutsch Vetter, auf Deutsch Base. I know the word. I know that the word Base means cousine. I have never heard it in my life in a normal conversation. And the word Feta I might have heard twice. So I don't know where this particular word comes from in the textbook. It's just outdated. Both Feta and Base are outdated. But that did remind me, let's assume it's not outdated. Maybe it is actually somewhere used in Germany. So I came across this nice website not too long ago, Atlas zur deutschen Alltagssprache, because it looks at different words around the country, respectively, actually 3 countries. You got Germany here, you got Switzerland here, and you got Austria here. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the word cousin in here. I'm just going to show you some differences between the different regions where we speak German, and those are the 3 countries, and Liechtenstein is kind of over here. So kind of 4 countries, very small one included. I'm from Berlin, which means that all the words that I know are either High German or they're Berlin specific, respectively, then they're used in others. So notice here, actually, I like the first word. That's a good example to start with. So Junge, which means a boy, and you kind of see this over here, right? Boop, boy. So where I come from, it is always here. This is where I'm from, Berlin. But here in these regions, it's always Junge. It's never any other word. Notice here where you have all the blue ones. Apparently, it's always boop, with few exceptions, I guess. So here, if I travel to Bavaria, I have to get used to that they would call a boy a boop. And if they go to Berlin or Hanover, they have to get used to that a boy is called a Junge. Let's see, I'm going to look at something else here. I'm not sure what happens here with Großeltern. Okay, yeah, sure. I would say, again, you have the green one here for Berlin. Yes, I would call her Oma, Großmutter, most of the time. I know she is a Großmutter, a great mother, grandmother, actually, translation. Oma, Opa, the same thing. Yeah, I wouldn't really use any of the others. Omi, I guess I've heard that. So just a few examples here. It's quite different depending on which region you're in, and they go through quite an extent on this website here. And these are actually data. I actually took this one here earlier, what's called the 13th round. And so I actually answered these questions. I put Berlin right here. Wait a minute, Germany. Well, Deutschland first, then my zip code in Germany. That's not my Soldatenland zip code. This is mine. And this one here would be, it's not Soldatenland. I actually to do that. And then I say, okay, Deutschland. There we go. So I try to answer all of these here, and they're different. This one here I actually like too. To me, these are definitely Süßigkeiten. This one here, what is it? Oh yeah, it's a Springseil right there. And it says, don't think too long, this is a Schrank to me. And yes, in other regions, it might be called a Kasten. That could be. I don't know that actually. To me, this is a Kiste. I don't even know the word Steige. So, and that's obviously a French word adapted into German. Ein Kuss auf die Wange, Küsschen, and so on. So it goes on and on. Ohrfeige oder Backpfeife, I've heard both in Germany. I do know the word Maulschelle, but I would never use it. Okay, so let me go back here. Because there was something else under Erste Runde. So they do actually research with this one here. It's the Universität of Salzburg, right there, and Liège Université. I think that's in Belgium. And let's see. Well, it was this one here. There we go. So this is the pronunciation of certain words. König. Okay, we don't have a king anymore, but it's still a good example here. So notice the G at the end. G. So it should be pronounced König. König. Right? So apparently in certain regions down here, it's called a König. So it's actually more like a K sound. And then in other regions, it's the König. König. I wouldn't pronounce it like that, but apparently some do. I actually also don't pronounce it correctly. Notice where the green is. I do pronounce it König, just the way it is here. It's actually mispronounced because it is König. So again, I just want to show the regional differences in Germany. So when you see something in the textbook and you ask me and I disagree with it, well, that's because I'm from a certain region and someone else agrees with what's in the textbook, but they can't say this is exactly the way it is because there is a regional difference. And of course, I mean, a lot of the German language is the same everywhere, but yes, there are regional differences, just like you have them in the United States or in any country. All right, I think I'm done with this.